Welcome to the second part of my Caribbean journey, and it's day 7 and we just arrived to Sint Maarten. In the cruise terminal there are a lot of shops when you can buy souvenirs. There is also a tourist information, so you can ask for advice how you can get to different places and how much it can cost you. Sint Maarten is an island divided between two countries, that is the Netherlands and France. And we'll be spending our time in the Dutch part because that's where the cruise terminal is located. The capital of the Dutch part is Philipsburg, and you can get there in a lot of different ways. The most obvious one is taking the taxi. There is also a water taxi, which isn't expensive and only takes around 10 minutes, but we decided to walk because we spent the whole previous day on the cruise ship and we were a little bit rusty. The city has a lot of bars and restaurants next to the beach, so if that's your cup of tea you can spend your whole day. And there are also a lot of different shops, which are your typical touristy city shops, so a lot of souvenirs, stuff necessary for swimming and snorkeling, but we decided to move along. While we were admiring the beautiful murals, we noticed a van which had a paper printed out that it was going from Philipsburg to Maho Beach. So we asked if we can also join them, and they said yes. And apparently they're mostly local people are using them to get to work or just travel. And we had to pay $7 to get to the Maho Beach, but we asked if we could go a little bit further to the Moonlight Bay, and the driver said yes. So we paid $9 for 3 people and we arrived at the Moonlight Bay. It was a great spot because it was a little bit crowded, but it was not overwhelming, and you could still find a place to put your stuff or yourself and just sunbathe and then go and snorkel for a little bit, because we even found squid there. It wasn't the best spot for snorkeling, but for being so many people there and so close to the city, it was still a very nice surprise. And the squid are so cool. They have very big eyes and they can get away from you quite fast, but it was still very surprising for me to see them. Just something big staring at you. And then we decided to move on to the Maho Beach. Unfortunately, we noticed that there was quite a lot of trash on our way, and the sidewalks weren't great, but that's a recurring theme on our whole trip around the Caribbean. Maho Beach is the famous beach where the planes land, just above you, and it's quite loud, so we just stayed there for one plane landing, and then we went our journey back to the Philipsburg. And we once again cut the van, and we were so lucky because we didn't have to wait for a long time, and we also didn't pay much. And basically you just ask the driver to stop when you want to get out, so it's very convenient. While we were walking around Philipsburg, we noticed this whole street, and it was very narrow, but it was covered with plants, so it gave an amazing vibes, kind of reminding me of the book The Secret Garden. But then we decided to go for a little swim because we had to get back to the cruise ship. And we said goodbye to Sint Maarten because it was time to get on the ship and get on our journey to the next stop, St. Kitts and Nevis. It is a country made out of two islands, St. Kitts and Nevis. And we will be spending our time on St. Kitts, which was kind of sad for me because there was a museum on Nevis that I really wanted to go. That was Hamilton Museum, but unfortunately it was on our island, so we just stayed on St. Kitts, which capital is Basseterre. And then we decided to go for a little walk, which turned out to be much longer than just a little walk. And we walked to the Timothy Hill Outlook. And it was a very, very long walk, mostly because the distance on map isn't that big, but the hills, yeah, they're kind of rough. But to be honest, it was worth it. At least for me. My parents may be thinking something else about it. And Timothy Hill is so interesting because it's a place where you can see two different bodies of water meeting. So on the left side you can see the Atlantic Ocean, and on the right side you see the Caribbean Sea. And after so much walking, we decided that we are tired and we took a taxi to the beach, but it looked pretty, but the water wasn't that great and there was not much to see underneath it. So we decided to go back, also with a taxi, and to walk a little bit around the city. The taxi cost us around $15, I think, for three people, if I remember correctly. And the currency is Eastern Caribbean dollar, but you can pay everywhere with dollars, so the price we paid was in dollars. Thanks for watching!